podcast, Jebuth. Inflation done caught up. Stocks were overvalued. They all crashed. Crypto flew down. Gold's down. Silver's down. What is going down? Everything. Has it hit a bottom? We don't know. You can assume, yes, it has. But it probably hasn't. And it's a direct reflection of stimulus, overvalued gasoline, oil, fuel. Hello? So, what really resonates with you? Like, if you step back and you're like, oh, I mean, obviously, music, arts, people. Now, I don't think technology does, or if it does, it's not everlasting, such as, like, oh, that's an awesome gadget. But then that thing gets old quick. You know, you're never, like, just holding on to it. And when you purchase stuff like that, don't you ever feel like it's supposed to last forever? Like, you're making this $400 purchase for this electronic device, and I'm going to have this forever, but it dies, and it doesn't last that long. And if you break down the years and stuff, you're paying, $75 a year for it, or, lucky if you do. But what is the expectation? Like, what are we supposed to want to get to, and what can we expect? I mean, do we want to be like, this is going to last for a long period of time, or is it cool? Like, yeah, dude, it's just disposable, Just like your arts, just like your people, your relationships, a block on a phone, like, you're done. You're like, I don't need you. It's just me against the world. And that's right back into the tech, right? Like, I don't know, it's ridiculous. But we feel sacred, or at least I feel sacred with arts, paintings, scenery, nature. You could throw that into art. Automobiles, if they're fantastic or whatever. I mean, obviously we don't want to have to pay for them, but you can appreciate them. The human body, as well. And imagination. Imagination, I feel, is not given any value. Like, it is, because of cause and effect, but nobody's just like, dude, that dude's imagination is so tight, I want to consume it all the time. And there probably are tons of people that you do that and you just don't even speak it. You don't push it. It doesn't happen. Improve self. Don't put any emphasis on this bullshit, and put the emphasis on what matters. Self, family, friends, improving, wisdom, health, community, and be the best you. Read a book, The Best Short Stories of William Kittredge. Or Kittredge, I guess. This is cool. It's like just a collection of stories. And I love the short story format. And if you follow anything I got going on over here, I don't read that many. Right? So I've been collecting a bunch of different collections of short stories. And I had never heard of this dude. And I was like, dude, I'm just going to read and give him a chance. They're good. There's a few that, like, they have that one amazing sentence. Usually towards the end or right in the middle. And the stories are a good pass through time, like, open up your brain or whatever. But at this one, towards the end, I think the last two are superb. And I don't know who this dude was. Laconic, isolated man. So you could tell, like, he grew up in the, wilderness or whatever. So everything's kind of based on nature or farming or, camping or something. But it's a good read. I would check it out if you like short stories, or you can find it. It's not bad. But if you know any short stories, holla at him, brother. And then I finally saw Dario Argento's Deep Red, and this is a masterpiece. I'm always kind of hesitant on horror movies. I don't know why. I just don't enjoy them that much. But this one was awesome. I don't know if this is really horror. It's more thriller. But it's beautiful. I watched, everything to do with it. Every special feature, 2 different commentaries. I've seen it 3 times now. And it's great. It's in Italian, and it really has a big twist at the end that you can never really guess who done it. And I would peep it out if you haven't. And there's tons of stuff on it. Really good articles and essays and people's opinions. And if you watch it 10 times, you'll see 10 different things you never notice. And I wonder if he actually did that, or, I mean, you had to, right? You've got the camera there and you're setting up all these things, but there's just like little nuances where you're like, whoa, dude, like he went to the next level. And there's an interview on here of him talking about like he had a cabin with no electricity and he'd go out there and write, and he felt all isolated and deserted, and it kind of like that's how the story comes up. But besides that, it's all filmed in like black or red. Not like black and white, but like everybody's wearing red and a deep crimson red, and it's just beautiful looking film. Peep it out if you haven't seen it. And then I saw, which I've heard about, but I've never even knew what it was about, Cohen and Tate. Dude, this is with Roy Scheider, Adam Baldwin, who I wasn't totally familiar with, but I went and looked him up, and I do pretty much remember him. But it's basically like this kid witnesses a murder and then gets put into witness protection, and these two hitmen are hired by the mob to bring him back. And the whole thing kind of like takes place in the car ride from, I want to say they're in New Mexico to Texas or somewhere. I forgot where. Oh, Kansas or Missouri to Texas. And it's awesome. It's a wonderful story. It's just fun, you know, like it's kind of cool where you can see something, you know, kind of take place in a box, almost like it just takes place in the car. I mean, there's a scene in the beginning that's freaking pretty cool, like blow up explosion type thing. And then they're just in the car going across country, and I don't know. I like that, or at least I like that because you feel like you could do it yourself almost, right? You can get in the car with a camera. And then it's actually a film by Eric Red, who's done a bunch of other stuff, but I wasn't totally familiar with him. But Cohen and Tate, it's from 86, I think. 86 or 89. 89, I guess. I would peep it out. I think it's kind of hard to find, but it's well worth your time. And then I went to the theater and I saw Sonic 2. I'd already seen Sonic 1, but Sonic 2 is good. I mean, it was a little long, I feel, for a kid's movie or like, you know, an animated movie, but it's fun, nostalgia. Like I never owned a Sega as a kid. I own a couple now, but I was more of a Nintendo guy, or I had Nintendo. But Sonic was awesome, and the whole like Sega library I'm always fond of. So if you're into that, I won't peep it out. But you know, it's funny because they have like all these kind of like pop culture references that seem kind of, I don't know, cliche or weird, or I don't know. Those always rub me wrong, where you're trying to be cool and like it's just like you're overdoing it. But whatever. If you're into Sonic and you saw the first one, I definitely see the second one. I think the second one's got to be better, but the first one's pretty good too. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where it doesn't really matter. That being said, try your hardest, stay amazing, be humble, be gracious, read more books, podcast, Jebuth.